One game down, one W in the books. It may be preseason, but it doesn't really matter, right? You beat the Devils. That's what matters. Hey, welcome to Rangers Daily. I'm Todd Werwa. This Sunday, we saw a little glimpse of what the Mike Sullivan regime will have to offer as a head coach of the New York Rangers. Not a lot of big names. In fact, the only big names were the actual guys that played on the fourth line that averaged out about 6'7". Big, height wise, not necessarily big in terms of glitz and glamour. Johnny Brodzinski, Jonathan Quick, Matt Rempe, Urho Vakanainen. Not a lot of big names, as we said, made the trip across the river. But it's Rangers Devils. It had a little bit of intensity, and we wanted to see what it was like under Mike Sullivan, how this might be different for all the talk about being a no BS FU kind of team to play against. What would we see as they came out of the gate? Well, those first 4 minutes, great glimpse, great forecheck, just pressure upon pressure upon pressure. You want to play like the Florida Panthers, you want to get in teams' faces. That's what they were for the first 4 minutes, and it led to a goal by Gabe Perreault to take a quick 1-0 lead. Wound up winning 5-3, 5 different scores, 11 of 18 skaters on the score sheet. That's pretty good diversification for who touches the puck in the important situations. So a good all-around showing, especially a good early showing for the Rangers. Let's talk a little bit about it. Like I said, the forecheck looked good. Juuso Parssinen, who's auditioning for that third-line center role, he really drove play in terms of being in the Devils' end the whole time, winning pucks. His line with Gabe Perreault and Connor Sheary, they look good as well. Casey Fitzgerald with an assist, which was great, an assist in front of his dad, Tom Fitzgerald, who's the general manager of the Devils. Beautiful pass to a cutting Gabe Perreault in the slot for the first goal, beating Jake Allen, so it wasn't like there was a minor league goalie in the pipes for the Devils. And they didn't have any of their big names in there either. I mean, let's face it, I'm trying to hype up a preseason game that didn't really feature a whole lot of great players, but we got to see a little bit of how Mike Sullivan wants this team to play. And when you're trying to win a spot on the team, a player like Connor Sheary, who goes back with Mike Sullivan to the Pittsburgh back-to-back Cup years, you want to see them come out with a little jump, a little fire, especially, first time impressing the coach just a couple of days into training camp. And that seemingly was what it was. And the second period was great. 4 goals, gave them a real nice cushion. I also liked Scott Morrow. He looked pretty good on defense. The pairing of Urho Vakanainen and Will Borgen looked pretty good. Now, they were the first defensive pair. Now, obviously, with Gavrikov and Adam Fox, they're not going to be the first pair when the puck hits the ice for real. But they might be a pairing. They might be your second pairing. We'll see if Carson Soucy fits in where Urho Vakanainen does. I kind of like to see this Vakanainen-Borgen pairing play out a little bit, though Soucy and Borgen did play together in Seattle for the Kraken back in the day. Like I said, Connor Sheary scored, and he's here on a PTO, a professional tryout. We'll see. He's not big. He's only 5'8". He hasn't played a whole lot of late, but he knows the Mike Sullivan system. And having guys like that around, that's a big deal. It's a big deal for a new coach to have guys who he doesn't already have to teach and have a guy that is busting his butt to make the team. So a good 5-3 win for the Rangers. Again, first game, not a lot of big names, but one of the big guys in the lineup was Matt Rempe. And he played on a line. Now, let me read these off for you because he's tall, right? He's 6'9". Dylan Rubrek is 6'7", and Nathan Aspinall is 6'5". Now, you ask one of the New York football quarterbacks if they'd like to throw to these guys, they'd give you a wholehearted thumbs up, yes, right? They're tight end size, those guys. What a line. I think I saw one report called them the Tri-Towers. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be a line that makes, the fourth line. During the regular season, Adam Edstrom will be tossed in there. They'll have a different center most likely. But in a game against the Devils where they did have Curtis McDermott in the lineup, to throw out a fourth line that was that big and that physical really showed what the Rangers have and give you a sense of, remember I said earlier in the week, we want to see him hit more, right? They want to be an in-your-face team. Well, that's how you get in your face. Put some big guys in there with some skill. But Rempe showed some real good hockey skills on the breakaway goal. He made a great play to push the puck forward, free up space. He was real good in the forecheck. And Sullivan, for his credit, said he really liked his game, and especially below the hash marks. When you get a guy that's 6'9", with that kind of reach in on the forecheck, that puck sticks to him, and no one wants to take a hit from him. You get it dumped behind the defense, and they have to turn and go to the boards, and here comes big old 6'9" Matt Rempe barreling down on you. There aren't a lot of defensemen that are going to hold on to the puck in that situation, and that creates turnovers, that creates goal chances. So I liked what I saw, but the big question is, where does he fit in? He got about 11 minutes in this game. We know under Laviolette, sometimes he'd get 7 minutes, and he has a propensity for making a hit and skating over to the penalty box, which can't happen this year. And obviously, he's 6'9". Some of those calls happen because he's a big guy, and you wind up hitting people that aren't, your size. You hit them in a spot, and, well, it looks like a bad hit, even though it's really a kind of normal hit, and he sometimes doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. But where does he fit in? There's Taylor Radish and, like I said, Edstrom, Sam Carrick. There are a bunch of guys that could play fourth line spot. Is fourth line Rempe's to lose? I'm not quite sure, but if he shows Mike Sullivan exactly what he's looking for, make good plays in the neutral zone, be solid two-way player, and really put the guns to the forecheck, maybe he's got a real regular spot. We already know the Garden crowd loves him. There's no better chant than the Rempe chant, other than maybe Potvin sucks. But the Rempe chant takes over the arena every time he hits the ice, and it gets the team fired up. Forget the fighting. We know what that does. But just the hard hits and the in-your-face pressure, that's what Mike Sullivan wants to see from Matt Rempe. And we'll see how that develops going along and what place he finds in the Mike Sullivan lineup. Now, one of the people we don't have to worry about finding a spot in the lineup is Jonathan Quick. Jonathan Quick started the game, played about 22 minutes, stopped all but one of 13 shots, and the shot he didn't stop was a ridiculous top shelf. Nobody was stopping that, most likely. So I would say Johnny Quick looked in midseason form. He's such a great goalie, still doing it at this age. He loves playing for the Rangers. Obviously, he'll be Igor's backup, but you never know how many starts he's going to get. He looked already to be in midseason form, but the fact that the Rangers have a decided tandem of goaltenders, and goaltenders that no matter who the coach writes on the board, the team knows we got a shot tonight. That's so important. Plus, it's also so calming for the rest of the team knowing whoever's in goal that night, we got a shot to win. And listen, Gavrikov, Fox needs to have a bounce back year. The second pair, the third pair, a little undecided. How structurally, defensively this team is going to be, we don't quite know yet. They're going to face a lot of shots, those goalies. And to have two goalies, to have a tandem that you can depend on means the world. And to see Jonathan Quick already in such good form, looked healthy, looked fast, no pun intended, looked quick. Glove was working, poke check was working. He really looked good. So that was great to see. Never a doubt, obviously, but it was great to see from Johnny Quick. And then finally, let's hit on our fourth topic. Tuesday, we get to see the Garden Ice with the 100th anniversary logo for the first time. Tuesday, the Rangers face the Bruins in preseason game number 2. Who the Bruins will send, don't know yet, but it'll be a typical preseason lineup. We did hear Mike Sullivan say maybe we'll get a few big names on the Garden Ice coming up on Tuesday. Don't know who it'll be, obviously, yet. But, you can assume it'll be a lot of guys trying to win jobs or win positions. And the Bruins, kind of an offseason, very much like the Rangers. Don Sweeney, after they got bounced last year, said we were just too easy to play against. Teams go right through us, and they made a concerted effort to change that, and that was a big focus of their offseason leading into this season. So it should be two teams, a matchup of two teams, no matter who's on the ice. A matchup of two teams that want to do the same thing, that really want to get in your face, that really want to forecheck, that really want to hit. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see which lineups, how the quality of depth in the lineup. We'll see how that is. But it should be a great battle. You get an original six battle, even if it's preseason. It's going to be great. So head to the Garden. That game's 7 o'clock on Tuesday for preseason game number 2. That's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching Rangers Daily. You can hit subscribe down below. Leave your comments. I'll get to them as we go along in the weeks to come. And again, I'm Todd Werwa. This is Rangers Daily.